This is Shane again, part 2 of talking about the Reed spacer, Moose Racing spacer plate. As far as getting it all fit, so I got it all filed down, and I'm going to show you what's going on here. Okay, so what I've done is I had some issues filing it down because it would not fit all the way down after filing it. So I've got it to fit pretty close. And basically what I'm doing is on the edges here, I had to file them down so that they would fit. As you can see, there's still, if I push it together, there's still a tiny little gap in there, and it should be flush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another file, I'm going to go all the way around it, and you see these little burrs in here? Right in here. There's a burr in this corner, and there's a burr in this corner where I filed it down. I'm going to take a smaller file, go in there and clean it all up. And I'll get back to you and show you what it looks like after it's done. So when you're doing the little corners on this spacer plate, you want to use a smaller file. That's for fine tuning. So with that being said, I'm going to finish filing it, and I'll show you the rest of it here in a second. Okay, so at this point, I've taken a small file and I've filed down all the edges. I've done the corners, and what I've done is I filed this side of it, like the edges, to kind of clean up all that raw filings or any burrs. So you just take your file, clean up the edges, like so. Same thing here. You just take your file and just clean up. You don't want to get too close to this hole because that's your mounting point. You'll make that mounting point weak. I've already gotten close to it already, but it looks like there's still plenty there, or enough of it there that it's not going to affect it. Take your wire brush, just clean out any and all filings. And this stuff, all this stuff you can get at Harbor Freight, or you can get at any local hardware store. Now, what you can do, just take some emery cloth, and you can get this at the hardware store as well. Take some emery cloth and clean up around the edges to make it look that much better. I mean, raw material looks pretty cool, but I mean, you kind of want it to look good, you know? You don't want it to look all like raw and unfinished. So you want to make it look finished. And you want it to be smooth. And this helps with it mounting as well. So you'll take this and you just clean up around the edges. Like so. Hit the face of it gently. You don't got to put a lot of pressure. Go around all the edges and smooth them out a little bit, because you don't want them too square. I mean, who knows? Maybe from when you got it from wherever it came from, wherever you ordered it from, maybe they didn't clean up any of the burrs. You know, with all this aftermarket stuff and all these parts, you know, there's always going to be some kind of cut here, shave here, adjust here. It's never just bolt on and go stuff. I mean, some of the stuff is, but not all of it. This is a prime example. This Moose Racing plate, I had to file it down to fit the cage. It might be for a newer bike, but I guarantee that you'd probably have to file this down to get it to fit, if you still have the original cage. You know, which, it's not a big deal. Take your time and go through it. Make sure everything that you've done is right. Make sure everything that you've accomplished as far as adjustments in the carburetor, the specs in the engine are all within specs in the book. You know, if you try to put your own spin on it, sometimes it doesn't always work. You need a base to start with, and the book's always a good place to start with. Alright, so we've took an emery cloth, went around the edges, and I don't feel any burrs. I'm hoping this is the last time I got to do this. It's been a journey with this bike. Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, there's your final product. Right there. No gap. Sits flat. All the way around. It's flat. Then when you take your gasket, oh, by the way, the moose gasket that comes with the plate, you also have to cut it, because it don't fit. So there's that, there's that, and there's that. Just like that. Alright, so if you have any questions, please like and share and comment, and I'll answer any questions that you might have. To be honest with you, I'd much rather have the dual stage Boyce and Reeds. They're a much better product, and I think they're going to work well. When you put the Reeds in, make sure you use Loctite on the bolts to put them in. Don't just put them in, because they will vibrate loose. And you don't have to put a lot on them, you just have to put like a little tiny drop. So with that being said, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like and share.